I think, from
Yeah, that happens.
all over the world. Yeah, so for example, in your lead-in section,
Hmm.
I'll just start sharing my screen now rather than holding
Hmm.
off. Entire screen. Let's go
Will you
back.
send me afterwards the document with your
Yes,
changes as well? Okay. Yeah.
yeah. Now, if we weren't going to, restrict it to 1 hour, I probably would make more changes on the document
Hmm.
set, but I want to focus on just
Hmm.
making sure that I can get through the entire thing
Yeah. I
in
think my main goal is to not resubmit. I think that's some of the things that I really want. Also, like, some people aim for a CELTA pass A and stuff like that, but I'm not really caring about this. I just want to make sure that I don't fail, So that's my main
perfect.
concern. Yeah.
Perfect. Great, and that's great to have that clear from the beginning.
Hmm.
Okay, so I'm going to be quite direct in
Hmm.
some things. I'm going to suggest quite a few changes to
Hmm.
what you've done. If, however, I need to say, if you want to even avoid resubmitting,
Hmm.
um, it's going to need
Hmm.
a, a few more hours of work on your part. But I can give you the direction where you should
Hmm.
focus on, and why I would change what you have,
Hmm. Hmm.
and how that lines up with what the tutor is looking for. So yeah, my and just remember this, and I'll explain this as I go through it. My advice actually would be to change from doing listening to doing reading.
Hmm.
There's a few reasons why.
Hmm.
Your choice of listening, I agree with many of the things that you said. I think that your eye and your ear for the appropriacy of the language level, I think that's good. I think
Hmm.
also you thinking about your learners, like what would be interesting for them. That's a good thing. Keep that up, and we'll try and get that into the wording of your rationale here. However, I know what tutors are going to say about this.
Hmm. Hmm.
For example, with classroom management, with a topic like this,
Hmm.
there's a lot of problems you could trip into around sensitivity issues, and that's just at the beginning. That's just the beginning.
Hmm.
Like, I get where you're coming from. You're coming from a very empathetic place.
Hmm.
You're thinking about, okay, this is something that's affecting me. I can only, and it's very topical in the world. So therefore, students may have something to say about it. And as well, mental health is something that pertains to all of us. So I completely get that. However, I can see tutors saying the same as what I said here. I understand that, but they'll also say, so you need to consider that some students may become very uncomfortable with this topic because of challenges maybe that they've had in their life, and
Hmm.
may disengage with the topic. So it's just, it could go really well or it could go really bad,
Hmm.
is really what I'm getting at there. So just to use your words again, like, you prefer to, just take the kind of the safe bet, like when you were saying that you chose something that would seem truly authentic. Again, a great way to be thinking about it. But the subject matter here, and the fact that it's a YouTube listening,
Hmm.
there's just more things that I can envisage going wrong, and I could give you a list of 5 more things that I think
Hmm.
could go wrong. But so let's look at my suggestion. My suggestion would be to change to a reading text. I just found this one just the other day, and the reason I would suggest this one is, well,
Hmm.
one of your topics was, or one of your rationales was, well, this is something I'm going through as a teacher as well, on SALTA, this mental health challenge. Um, well, look, this topic relates to us as teachers.
Hmm.
Another one of your rationales was, oh, I think this is something that could pertain to the students' lives, so that they would be more, um, they would engage more with it, which is something that we're going to have to say in the rationale for your lead-in. AI, ChatGTP, all of that. That's like, it was, nobody knew anything about that a year ago. Now it's all that anybody talks about. Well, and and cross-culturally. Like, it's not just the United States or in Europe or in Africa. It's the entire world. This thing is like a fire. So it's a pretty sure bet that students will be able to engage with the topic. Another reason to choose a reading is when it gets into pre-teaching vocabulary.
It's easier because it's there already.
Yeah, exactly. Second of all, I don't know why it does that, but yay for balloons. Let's go.
I know. Yeah.
I don't know. I see that. I think it's when I
It's
put my.
I think the camera reacts to what you're doing.
But I can't help. I'm a gesticulator. I use my hands.
It's fine. Okay. So reading, I'm gonna write it down. Reading and
yeah.
maybe chat.
Well, first of all, I'm going. I'm
Can you
putting
send me
together
this
a little
particular article
Hmm?
on the chat? Can you send me the link of this article?
Yeah.
You
in
think this
fact,
particular link is okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's
I've read
Forbes.
this.
Yeah.
Sorry?
I mean, it's a reliable source as well. No, I think
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
relatively respected.
It's a reliable source. I'll just say something right now when you mention that. Yes, it's a reliable source. That's less important. You could put in some like fake news, and that's fine too, actually. Honestly, and it's just I'm going to focus on that because it's important for you to get clarity on what you need to focus on. Like, if we go back to your assignment here, you talk about this bit is good about the language is good for upper intermediate students, but something they could relate to.
Can you make the text, the screen a little bit bigger because it's small for me, so I can't. Yeah, that's better, please. Thank you.
Sorry. The video's topic is interesting. Current topic is society is talking more about mental health nowadays. It might also provide some cultural insight. All of this.
When learners compare, I mean,
and relaxation techniques and opportunity. All of this is not about their linguistic development. All of this is like interpersonal kind of development. But like, if you just look at all of the blue that I've highlighted, and see that as a percentage of this text, it's more than half. But this part of the rationale, the personal kind of side of it, should be like 10%. 90% of the rationale should be about, I need to, thumbs up again, thanks Google. I need to engage my students with the topic so that I can activate their schemata, which will help them interact with the reading text and help develop their reading skills. Can you hear the language that I'm using is all about language learning, and it's all about them as language learners. And like, it might feel a little cold, because what you've written is warmer. It's about the people and their interests. But think about this as an academic kind of scientific assignment here. So yeah, and that's why I just paused there when you said, oh, this is a reliable source. Well, it could be an unreliable source, but if you're talking to me about activating the learner's schemata and engaging them with the topic and establishing the context and these kinds of things that I need to hear about when it comes to the lead-in, then I don't care about the source. It's just reading. Like, I don't know what you read. You don't know what I read. It doesn't matter as long as we're reading, right?
Yeah.
Like that's our job as language teachers, and it's just worth getting that clear, because it could be a reason why a tutor might say to you, I need a stronger rationale.
So should I explain like why this text is suitable? Like, because the language is okay for the learner. Should I mention that as well to like explain why it shows this particular text?
Yeah, so I that's exactly what I would do. I would start off here, say this: the language used in this text is appropriate for upper intermediate level. Second, say the topic is relevant to their context, and it's likely, second and third, it's likely then to engage the learners. Fourth, say this will activate their schemata and prepare them for the reading that's to come in the lesson. Done. Now, I could type that. It's just going to take longer. So let's just to make sure I can get through as much of the assignment here as possible. So for the lead in, again, what I would do for like if you were to actually use this lesson, I would
I think I'll change. I'll do reading, and I'll use this article. I think that's.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
so. And here I'll send it to you in the chat, but I'm also going to send you. I'm putting together a little document for you.
But I would like to keep, not everything, but I mean, like some of the things that I've actually written, I'd like to keep some of them there already, even if I change the lesson itself, because that will save me some time. I don't want to redo everything. So maybe you can like change the color, like maybe like red can be the things that I think I could keep. And maybe yellow could be the things that you think I could replace with whatever that you've mentioned already. I think it could be a good option.
Okay, exactly. Okay, keep that.
So yellow is keep, yeah?
Yeah, yellow is keep. And in fact, I'll just do, so I'll turn off track changes here. I'll just do keep. Whatever's yellow, keep it.
Okay.
And then build the rest of the assignment. Build the rest of the assignment.
Action, the rest, this could, like I could just mention basically how appropriate, useful the text chosen is for the language focus of the lesson, correct? I need to relate it to the linguistic aim.
Yeah.
Okay.
And mention those words that I said as well, that this will engage the learners because it's something that relates to all of our lives. Mention the words activate schemata. Activate schemata means basically just to turn on their brain about the topic so that the reading is not just completely new to them. They've already got some ideas, right?
They relate the text to things they already know somehow, right?
Yeah, like imagine I went to Brazil for the first time and I didn't speak any Portuguese, but I open up the Folha de São Paulo and I don't understand anything, but I see a photograph of Ronaldinho Gaúcho. I see a photograph of him in his, yellow football kit. I know that the topic is about soccer, and I know I'm in Brazil, so the seleção is really important here. Okay, so this must be a big topic. I know that it's not about politics. I know that it's not about the war in wherever, right? You see, even though I don't understand any of the words there, I already know something, and that's going to help me then engage with the text. Maybe I can scan the text and see Ronaldinho Gaúcho, and then I can see the name of a team that I know, for example. Yeah, schemata. And the verb that goes with it is activate. Activate schemata.
Okay.
So then for a lead-in, what I would suggest, again, the purpose of the lead-in then is to, it's that activate schemata, generate interest amongst the students, and to establish the context. The context here is AI in the world of teaching. Okay. And the task that I would suggest is, why don't you take a screenshot of ChatGPT, or if you're in a breakout room, or if you're teaching online, why don't you share your screen and say, do a share screen of ChatGPT and say, will AI replace teachers? Something funny like that, and then watch what ChatGPT says, and then ask the students, do you agree or disagree?
So ask Chat GPT if AI will replace teachers. Take a screenshot of the answer. Chat GPT.
Hey, what about because maybe that will require them to read too much. Just maybe take a screenshot of ChatGPT with the question in there. Don't show the answer, and tell the students, discuss, what do you think ChatGPT will say?
Okay, with the question. ask students what they think chat GPT will say. They can kind of predict the answer, yeah? And then in
Kind
the
of.
end, I can show the answer to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but I would save that
Okay.
till the end. And the activity will be carried out breakout where students.
Mm-hmm.
So I have some notes here. So I'm going to suggest I put together some quotes for your lead-in. I can just see them not loving this blog, and I can see your tutors asking for quotes from Jeremy Harmer or Jim Scrivener. So here's one in the chat that I just prepared for you. Give a rationale for a lead-in. So engagement is essential for effective learning. When students are actively engaged in the learning process, they're more motivated, focused, and likely to retain information. Harmer, 1998. That's the book. That's also,
the book. Can you write the entire name of the book, please? So
yeah, it's Learning Teaching. I think it's here at the
They've
bottom.
recommended it. Yeah.
Yeah.
By Harmer.
How to
Teach English. Okay.
Yeah, by Jeremy Harmer. Yeah.
I have a quick question, very quick.
Yeah.
So basically, I turned this into an actual lesson, right? To put into the appendix. So then I did like a PPT, and then I took pictures and I put it in the appendix. Do you think I should do something similar, or what would you suggest?
Yeah, I don't think you need that level. All this assignment really needs is a description.
But I do need to put things in the appendix. So
yeah,
what should I do exactly?
Yeah, you do. So okay, yeah, the actual listening activity, or in the end, again, I'm going to suggest a reading
I'm going to do
activity.
reading. Yeah, we'll change that.
And just because I'm here, and if you're watching this recording afterwards, I suggest that you do a true false reading activity. This, for the activity you have here, I wouldn't translate that one into a reading activity, because the one that you have here, your tutors are for sure going to say that this doesn't require the students to listen for detail. In this case, it just requires them to gather words, and that's actually not a listening task, that's actually a vocabulary task. So yeah, just on that, yes, in your appendices you need to include basically, yeah.
But what should be the format? That's kind of my question. I can just simply write it down, explain the activity itself.
Yeah, okay. In the assignment you're going to explain, but the appendices are this. Appendix 1 is just copy and paste that article. Okay, this. Just copy and paste that. Try not to.
I need to copy the article itself. I don't need. Can I just put the link of the article? I need to copy the article.
Yeah, maybe some tutors might be okay just with the link, but I think you need to paste in the actual article itself. I can see them say, "Please provide me the actual text." Some tutors could be a picky like that, you know. When you're copying and pasting it in, try not to copy this.
Only the text itself.
Yeah, only the text.
The whole text, or just the parts that I will use? The
whole text. I would suggest you. I think, like, I looked at the length of this text. I think it's appropriate. To use the entire text. Like it's not that long. So that's another thing that you can say in your rationale, that the language and the length are appropriate for this level and for a 1 hour duration lesson.
Usually it's 45 minutes that we have.
Okay, but I thought, was this?
Maybe the assignment is 1 hour. I don't know. Maybe
it usually is. It usually is. Maybe I was on autopilot on that one.
That's okay.
I'm usually asked to prepare. Sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes it doesn't say the amount of time either. I don't think it does say it in your rubric. So then what you can say is this text is appropriate for a 1 hour lesson and can be adapted by removing 1 or 2 paragraphs if I need to teach a 45-minute lesson. And it still remains authentic, because all you've done is taken out a paragraph. Okay, you're not like changing the language in the paragraphs itself, right?
Yeah.
So your appendices, as I was going to say, are going to be Appendix 1, copy and paste the text. Appendix 2, yeah, that screenshot of ChatGPT with the question. Appendix 3 is going to be your gist task. Appendix 4 is going to be your detailed task. And Appendix 5, okay, there's going to be 5 appendix, is going to be your follow-up task. And that's going to be a speaking task. Okay.
Okay.
So, so when it comes to here, I'm sorry, Thais, I think pretty much most of this you're going to need to, yeah, all of it, I think you're going to need to replace, but include that quotation that I give you there in the chat. Talk about this lead-in is to engage the students with the topic and establish the context, and then just use that quote and you're good. Okay, you don't need to write a whole bunch. When it comes to gist, again, I have another.
So this is reading for gist, or is it called something else now?
Reading for gist.
Reading for gist. Okay.
Well, in fact, okay, good question. Reading for gist, that's skimming. Okay, those are the same.
Yeah. That's a good one to put as well. Yeah.
Okay, skimming is like the technical term. Okay, reading for gist is more like the, I don't want to say colloquial term, but yeah, let's just use that. It's like the more colloquial way, but they mean the same thing. Okay, so just as skimming is gist, then reading for detail is like scanning. Now, let me just say, some tutors like to make a difference in scanning, that there's scanning where you're just looking for words, like, you know, going through the telephone book, you're not actually reading something, or going through a menu, you're just going boop, there it is, and that's called lifting. And then reading for detail is where, you know, you have to read the book or the newspaper, and you have to understand more than just the words that you're catching. You have to understand what it means, okay, what the paragraph means, what the argument is, etc. Right? And that's reading for detail. But whether it's lifting or detail, both of those are under the scanning.
Yes.
Just as gist goes with skimming, detail goes with scanning.
So we're doing lead in. Can you go back to number 2? Can I see what it is originally? No. First is the rationale. Yes. Then is lead in. Then is reading for gist or skimming. Yes. 4, reading for detail. Should I say scanning as well?
Yeah.
And then
you know, I would, and the reason, so here I have a quote here for you for gist.
And the 5th is a follow-up, correct?
Sorry?
After reading for detail, is it follow-up, or is there another thing? That's it, right?
Follow-up. Follow-up speaking task. And we'll get to that in a second. So there's a quote for gist, and here's one for scanning. That I prepared for you.
And I can put that like as like what it means. Yeah. Okay.
You should use these quotes as your like build your paragraph. So you see quotation 1 there, engagement. That goes with point to lead in. Okay. Then the next quote I give you, effective reading involves not only understanding the individual words. That one, that goes with reading for gist, or skimming. Skimming is spelled S-K-I-M-M. What you've written scheming there.
Can you just say it again so I can write it?
Yeah. Well, here, I'll just type it in.
Yeah.
And just so you know, skim, just what that verb means. Skim, have you ever heard of skimmed milk?
Yes.
So skim milk is where you just skim the cream off. Or have you ever seen this thing where you throw a stone like that and it hits the water? You know, if you throw a stone just the right way and it bounces the water, that's called skimming. So then the reason why, like, reading,
I think I wrote skimming because I think I saw something about skiing today, so it stayed in my mind.
No problem. But just the only reason I'm going into the meaning of the word is not so much to give you a language lesson here, but it's more to give you a concept lesson. The reason it's called skimming is because that's the way that you want learners to read. You don't want them to really like focus hard on each paragraph and each sentence. You want them just boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's about this. Okay. And you should mention in the gist part of the assignment here is you say, I give them whatever time it is, 2-3 minutes. And you should say, by giving them a shorter time to read, this will encourage the sub-skill of reading for gist or skimming, right? Because if they have less time, they don't have time to get into detail, right? And then when it gets to your
2 to 3 minutes, that's okay.
And then when it gets to the second reading task, reading for detail, you say, this time I'm going to give students a bit longer, again, to encourage the sub-skill of reading for detail, right? Because if you have more time, you'll spend more time thinking about it, right? Like it just logically kind of lines up.
How long do you think I should give them? How much do you think is like?
Let's say this: for just give them 2 minutes, and for detail, give them 3 to 4 minutes. Just write it like that: 3-4.
Hold on. For detail, it's how long?
3 to 4.
3 to 4 minutes. Okay. Yeah.
And just give them about 2 minutes. But mention that in your rationale. I'm going to give them 2 minutes for just. My reason is, if I give them a short time, that will encourage the sub-skill of skimming.
Yes.
And then when you get to this, paragraph 4, the second reading task, you say, this time, I'm going to give them 3 to 4 minutes. By giving them extra time, that encourages them to spend more time understanding the text and answering these true-false questions as well, which sees if they have understood the text. On that point, when you go to create your true-false task, here's all you have to do. There is 1 paragraph, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 paragraphs. I'm going to say to you, select 9 of those paragraphs.
Yeah.
And describe one of the each of those 9 paragraphs in your words, in a short paraphrase. Paraphrase each paragraph into a. Let's do an example. Regarding the possibility of replacing teachers, there are 2 things ChatGPT will not be able to do anytime soon. The first is establish the emotional connection with students that is the hallmark of great teaching. And the second is to serve the teacher of record on transcripts. So I would say that ChatGPT cannot replace the human side of teaching. Okay, now let's make that a true-false question. ChatGPT can also replace the human emotional side of teaching. True or false?
False.
Right. So you see what I did there? I paraphrase it, and then I just flip it around to make a false question, or I could just leave it as it is, and that's a true question. Okay, so it's going to take you a little bit of time, but not that long. If you have that process, there are 12 paragraphs there, you can randomly choose 9. Or you might even say less, 8, but I wouldn't go less than 7 or 8. You want 7 to 9 true-false questions here.
I have a quick question just before I forget, because I forget things very fast. About the word count. Because I don't know if you've seen, but like on the document, it says word count minus 500, blah, blah, blah. I think it's because of the original instructions that the original document has, and I've removed that. So I think that's what I mean by 500. So to get to the correct word count, I should just simply see each paragraph, how many words I got, and then just calculate it. Is that it?
Yeah,
what I should do?
Yeah, that's what I do. Like, you see here when I highlight the text?
Yeah.
You see down here, it says 245 of...
Which is a bit more, but then there's others that I'm a little bit lower. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so what I would do, there's many different ways that I would get the word count, but what I would do is when I finish one, I would just write my word count up here, 2.5. And then at the end, I just calculate it.
Yeah.
Because that if I were correcting this assignment,
Yeah.
that's how I would check it. If I, tutors don't check every single assignment. They only check it, like, I know I have a feeling for a 1,000 word assignment. And if it's 1,500 words, I just know because it takes longer for me to read it. So,
Yeah. But I
so
I should regard that minus 500 thing that they put in the end, right? I just need to see each paragraph, and that's how I made the calculation, because I was getting to like 730. I was like, can I roll more than that? But yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you need minimum 750, kind of maximum of 1,000. If you're like 1,050 words or even 1,100, I'm sure it's fine, and the same, like if you end up being 700 and honestly, if you're less than 750 words, I would say that you have a problem.
You can write a bit more.
Yeah.
Yes. Usually I write more.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's what I would do for detail. Choose.
Detail is true or false, correct?
Yes.
What about the gist?
Now I'm jumping around a little bit. I'm sorry that
we switched the order.
Correct order
it's
here.
Fine.
So yeah, let me just go back, and I'm even going to go back before gist. I'm going to go back up to the lead in, and I'm going to mention one more thing that I think that you should include here is talk about pre-teaching vocabulary. Now, in a lesson plan, to pre-teach vocabulary would be a stage of its own. It would be a separate stage. But because this assignment template doesn't separate that out, we can just include it as part of the lead-in.
Vocabulary part of the lead-in.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm going to encourage now. Just to mention on that, sometimes in reading lessons, you can see the pre-teach actually happening after the gist task. That happens sometimes, but usually it's called pre because it happens pre any reading, right? So I'm going to encourage you, when you read through this text, I want you to select maximum 7 words to pre-teach. And each time when you're deciding which word should I choose to pre-teach, all that you need to do is focus on the paragraphs that you have chosen to paraphrase for your true-false questions. And then if there's any vocabulary in those paragraphs that the students must understand so that they can answer your true or false question, then pre-teach that. If it's vocabulary in one of the other paragraphs, so remember we said there are 12 paragraphs, let's say you do 8 questions, then there's 4 paragraphs you can ignore. And even if there's some vocabulary in there, you're like, oh, I think that could be hard, ignore it. And the reason being is another piece of terminology that you should use when you're talking about pre-teach is blocking items. Okay. There's a difference between what's called blocking items and difficult vocabulary. Difficult vocabulary could be something like stethoscope. Okay. There's a few reasons why that's difficult. One, it only occurs in a medical register. Thanks again, Google. It's only in a medical register. So that links to number 2. It's low frequency. Students probably don't hear it that much. There's other reasons why it's difficult. The clustering of consonants makes it difficult to pronounce. But stethoscope wouldn't be a blocking item if I'm reading an article about a doctor listening to somebody's heart, because the text says the doctor used his blah 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 to listen to the patient's heart. Well, in all over the world, we know that doctors have these things that they put in their ears and they put it up to you, and So if a doctor is listening to your heart, it must be that thing, whether I know it's called a stethoscope or not, right? So you see that that's not a blocking item. It's like, I can understand that. I don't, even though it's difficult, like it's difficult to pronounce and it's at low frequency, it's not a blocking item. Whereas, let's say in your text over here,
I just want to clarify one thing very quickly. So my reading for GIST activity would be pre-teaching the vocabulary.
No,
It's
I've
not?
gone back before GIST. I'm getting to
That's
that.
the lead-in. That's the
Good
lead-in.
question.
Okay,
We're still
okay.
in lead-in. We're not in GIST yet.
Okay.
I'm glad you asked that question. We're getting there, and I have an idea ready for you for your GIST task as well. But where you might do blocking item. Let's say it was here. Where was that? Okay, let's say it's this one. While AI tools like ChatGPT have the potential to transform education, let's say let's say your true-false question here is AI will definitely change education. Well, if students don't understand the word potential, then they can't answer that question because it said definitely in there, right? So here it's a blocking item, right? It's not just it's a difficult word. They must understand that. If they don't understand that, then they can't. So that's the terminology you should use there. As part of the lead-in, I'm going to pre-teach 5 words. In fact, just limit it. I'm going to limit you to 5. 5 words that could be blocking items. That is, words that if the students don't understand them, they can't complete the gist or the detailed task. Okay, does that make sense?
A gist or detailed task. Blocking words that might prevent students from completing a gist or a detailed task. Okay.
Okay, when it comes to gist task, very simple. What you do is take the title. Okay, so the title here is ChatGPT will not replace teachers, but could act as a teaching assistant. And then you invent 2 more titles that are kind of similar, but say something different. So something like ChatGPT is better than human assistants, or ChatGPT makes teaching better for teachers. Okay?
So I make different statements, yeah.
Different, but they're kind of
different but similar statements, yeah.
Different but similar, but they're objectively wrong. Okay. And then all you do is you show the students the text and you say, here are 3 titles. I want you to read the text and choose the correct title. That's a gist task, and that will work for sure.
Should they read like maybe not the entire text, maybe like 2 paragraphs or something?
Text.
The entire text.
Yeah.
This is for gist. They don't have time to. It's just skimming. Yes. Okay.
Exactly. That's why we give them just 2 minutes, right?
No, because I think I've actually, like, during a lesson that I had reading for the Celta itself, they had some, like, they had a book and some suggested lesson aims. I think the book itself, like the reading for gist, was just like, oh, read like 2 paragraphs or something.
Yeah.
And it was not the whole thing. Yeah.
Sure. And that does happen. That exists. That exists. But let's not go down. That's less common than read the text for gist. So let's just.
The point is they read it kind of fast. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if it's okay to read the entire text. That does not mean it will be a detailed read. Yeah. Okay.
Precisely. So are things kind of coming together now in your mind? Like, that's why we give them the short amount of time, because they can't read it all, but they have to.
Like, they're meant to.
Yeah, because you know, when you think about the title of a text, like what is that?
Yeah.
The title is the gist.
Yeah, that's
The
true.
title is the gist. Like that's what it is. You know, if you're reading the newspaper and I say, hey, Thais, what are you reading there? And you say, oh, I'm reading this article. It's just about ChatGPT will not replace teachers, but could act as a teaching assistant. Like that is something that you could say. You know, that's the gist. That would wrap it all up. So yeah, all that you have to do is say, when it comes to writing this gist part, the initial reading, there's another couple of things that, okay, let me start again. One thing I noticed when I was reading this is that you were saying you were going to get them to watch it and they just have to watch it and then they'll get a task afterwards. Just get this very clear. You must, whether it's in your assignment or in your teaching, in your lessons, in your TP, you must always, every time, make sure that you give the task before they read or before they listen. Okay. And it must be clear what that, like when I read this, and
I think I do it when I teach, but when I describe the lesson, yeah,
yeah, and I
to
know
describe
because
it as
you're
well.
thinking about building all parts of it. I get it. I totally get it. But yeah, you just need to describe that. And like I don't want to waste your time me finding the exact part here, but I couldn't even really see a specific task here. So what you need to write there is for the initial reading task, I will provide students 3 titles for the text. 2 of them are wrong, 1 of them is correct. I'll instruct students to read the text quickly, and in order to ensure that they read the text quickly, I will give them just 2 minutes. And students need to choose the correct title of the text. By doing this, this will encourage students to skim the text, stroke, read for gist. And then you follow that up with the quotation from Harmer that I give you there that says, effective reading involves not only understanding individual words, but also grasping the main ideas and overall meaning of the text. Reading for gist allows readers to quickly identify key information and comprehend the central message of the text. Boom.
Okay.
So there's a bit of my copy and paste. You see the where it says and
it's fine. It's just formatting. It's
yeah, that's, get rid of that. That's not supposed to be there.
No, I'm not. I'm reading for detail here, huh? Okay.
Yeah, good. Yeah, just there where you see the and QUOT.
You've mentioned 2 different authors. Are they both from the suggested reading list from the assignment?
Yes, both of them, and they're the main guys. Like the 2 authors I've given you here are Scrivener, and I give you Scrivener. I give you a quote from him for scanning. That's the last.
I can use the same author in different sections of the lesson plan.
Yeah. So I've given you 2 quotations from Harmer and 1 quotation from Scrivener, and that's perfect. Okay, all you need. It's all you need. I would honestly, like, I'll be honest with you, Thais. I didn't even read this guy. I'm sure it's great. I'm sure it is. But the reason, it's not just because I'm an old conservative or something, but I'm strongly encouraging you to use Scrivener and Harmer because remember what you said at the beginning, you want to do something that is safe, that you know will work. Okay, like I know this works. I know that these are the books that tutors just want to see a quote from Harmer. They just want to see a quote from Scrivener. If they get those 2 things, they're happy. You're already halfway to passing the assignment. Then everything else just has to check out. So reading for gist,
the title, and then they have to select the wrong titles, the correct title out of the wrong ones. Okay.
Yeah, and by giving them the short time, it encourages them to read for gist, to skim, and then you include the quote from Harmer, and you're done. Move on. Next section. For the next section, I'm going to encourage students to read for detail. In order to do this, I'm going to use a few classroom management techniques. First one is, I'm going to give the students more time than the just task. This will encourage reading for detail. To ensure that students don't just, and use these words, lift words from the text, lifting words from the text, but actually read for detail, I am going to provide them with a true false task.
Yeah.
This will encourage students to spend time with the various paragraphs in the text to get a stronger understanding. Okay, and then you follow it up with the Scrivener quote. There, where it says scanning involves moving your eyes quickly down the page, looking for specific words or phrases. And it's useful for quickly locating specific information. Okay. And say that once they locate that specific information, then they can read around the specific information to understand the detail. Okay, and answer the true-false question. Okay. And then when it comes to the productive task, I think here's where I would suggest, so I'm not going to give you a quote for this one. I'm going to leave this one up to you, but I'll tell you where to go. Go to the Teaching English, the British Council Teaching English website.
The one I've quoted myself, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just, search for an article there that talks about why speaking tasks are good or why productive tasks are good, and just get one sentence from any of those, quote it, and quote it fully, like quote it as fully as the quotes I've given you from Scrivener or Harmer. Have a full sentence there, not just a word or two. And for the follow-up task, I just encourage you, kind of what you've done here, speaking, but not role play. Role play is good for specific things. In fact, role play is the appropriate type of speaking task for a sensitive topic like mental health. So if you were to go ahead and do that, I would encourage that activity type, although I would change the activity itself that you have there. However, for the AI topic, all I would do is then you've got a bunch of options and decide which one you want to do. You could show them the answer from the ChatGPT question at the beginning of the class and ask them, what do you think about this? What I think might be a bit more engaging is, why don't you get some movie posters like Blade Runner, iRobot, Terminator, a few more, Space Odyssey, 2001 Space Odyssey. That's a really good one, actually. All kind of scary, but they're all about AI. And just then just have 4 speaking prompts about that. And you can do anything you want here. You could take any angle. You could think, do you think these movies really did tell us about the future? Or you could take a different angle, a more fun angle. It's like, there's lots of movies about AI. Have you seen any of these movies? Tell your partner about which movie you've seen and what is the AI story in those. Or if you've seen any of these movies, which is your favorite one, and tell your partner why you like this story in that movie. And guys, that's gonna, I lost you. Your computer just decided.
I have no idea what happened. Like, I was writing questions to make sure that we don't run out of time, and then I just lost everything.
Yeah, no problem.
What was I saying?
Oh, did you lose everything? Did you lose everything that you'd written?
No, I was writing everything on my another app, so I got it. But I was writing some stuff to you right now. And then I lost that, and I don't know what happened. Oh my God.
Oh, no.
I'm just gonna write and talk at the same time, kind of like a list. I want to make like four or five, questions that you can answer quickly, just so we can wrap everything up. So from memory, right? Because I was writing it. So I think that the first question can be like, when you read the assignment, is there one obvious thing that I'm clearly doing wrong that you think I should pay attention to, so that I really avoid like resubmission? Second question is about the follow-up activity. What do you suggest for the follow-up itself? What do you think makes a follow-up successful? The third one, I think I was going to ask about your PayPal, like, so I can like send you the payment afterwards. There was another thing, but I don't really remember, but I think it's okay. It doesn't matter. And I think that, I know this is 1 hour. I will book you again for another assignment. But for example, like, I'm going to rewrite the assignment. Would it be possible for me just to quickly show you the assignment and then just tell me, hey, it's okay? Like, does that, like, can we include that as part of the deal? Like, that's just my question, I think. Can I just?
Yeah, great questions.
Yeah.
And I have answers to all of them.
Yes. I typed it very quickly, because we don't have much time.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. So first of all, about the one thing that I would tell you to kind of focus on, generally reading your assignment, I didn't get enough. Like, if you listen to the way that I've been speaking the entire time we've been on this session, I've been really focusing on things like reading sub-skills and activating schemata and engaging the students and
more key vocabulary.
blocking. There isn't enough methodological focus here. I want to see, and to get that language, basically you just need to read Scrivener or Harmer. Okay. The language of your assignment, the English is perfect, that's fine, but the language, it's a bit
it's more intuition rather than actual research.
Yes, that. And the intuition is fine, and in fact your intuitions are usually right. I would just start off with that, start off with an intuition, give the intuition like 10% of each paragraph. And give 90% to using methodology language and a quotation. Okay, so each time I've gone through paragraphs there with you, I've talked about rationale, I've talked about engaging students' needs, developing their skills, giving them exposure to more reading text, lead-ins. I've talked about activating schemata, engaging students, establishing context, pre-teaching blocking items. When it comes to the initial task, I want to see things like read for gist, skimming, allocating time to encourage reading for gist. For detail, same thing, but just flipped around. Remember what we said about the true false questions, how that's going to encourage that reading for detail, reading for understanding, not just lifting words. Follow-up productive task, you want to say things like, I want students to respond naturally to the text, and it's natural to do that, to develop their fluency. Okay. So that's the big thing that I want to see more of in that assignment, is just more of this methodology language. So if you go back over this video and just kind of pause it, write something, pause something, write something. Yeah, and for the follow-up, like I said, what I would do is that thing, get some photographs of movies, ask movies about AI, those ones will work.
I think the follow-up is kind of like feedback. Actually, in here is productive task, so that's the follow-up. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, the
because usually there is another section, so okay.
Yeah, the follow-up is where they speak about what they've read. Yeah, that's and the rationale there is it's natural to react. Imagine I'm reading the newspaper here about AI and say, Jesus, Tess, you know what I just read here? It says that ChatGPT is going to take over our job. It's natural to respond to, you know, if you read something that you wanted to read, it's going to make you react to it. And yeah, that's where I would get the movie titles and get them to talk about which one they've seen or which one they like.
I
And
think I like the one, like the screenshot, because it connects two parts of the lesson together. I think, I don't know, I tend to choose that one. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that'll work just as long as like the answer that ChatGPT gives you isn't very long. Like if it's very long, then that's
I'll
another
just
reading
ask them
lesson.
regenerate the answer, and then I get the right screenshot. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. If you like Photoshop it and make a really short answer. Yeah, exactly. Something like that. I think could work. So yeah, when it comes to the other question you had there, just about well, PayPal, I get that in a second, but just if you wanted me to have like could we put it in the deal? So what I can offer you is what I do with asynchronous lesson consultations. So what happens in an asynchronous is the person will send me the assignment, and then I'll do the work on it and I'll send it back. And then I say, you can send me an email with like up to 3 questions about it. Because if it's more than 3 questions, it probably requires me to analyze it again. And I think the same that like, because your assignment here, I think we agree, you know, it does need to be, you know, largely rewritten, but I've given you the framework for it. I've given you like, it shouldn't take you that long if you just follow this video. But then if I have to go and, you know, it would require a full kind of analysis from me. However, if you did want to send me an email, hey, Fergus, I just wanted to check. I had this idea for the follow-up task. What do you think about that? Or, hey, Fergus, I was thinking about using this quote to give rationale for gist. What do you think about that? That's fine.
I think I'll probably write the assignment tomorrow in the morning or in the evening.
Yeah.
And I'll just submit it. I think with everything that I've seen here, I think it should be okay, because I also had a lot of questions about the formatting and stuff like that, the workout. So I think it should be clear for me now. I think maybe like, I don't think that's going to happen, but let's say I have to resubmit, for example, then I think we can book another session. I think that's okay.
And that's the thing, Thais, I was going to say as well. By the way, do you prefer to be referred to as Thais or Thais Cristine?
Thais. That's just like it's my name, but I'm Thais. Yeah.
But like, does your mother call you Thais Cristine, or that's just how you like?
It's just because Brazilians really like double names, yeah. So that's just like, my mom is also Simone Cristine, so there's just like a habit. But usually people refer to each other using their first name.
Okay, cool, legal. What was I going to say?
I was asking about like
just about the
resubmit. Yeah.
Yeah, like, I think 2 things. First of all, you're right. If you just like go and write the assignment tomorrow, like, and sit down with this video, it takes about half an hour for the video to process, so you're not going to get it like instantaneously, but I'll send it within the hour.
I don't need to forget. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, no, but I think if you sit down with the video and just kind of like go through it point by point,
I'll use the keywords that you've mentioned. Yeah. So for example, like when it comes to my writing, it's appropriate for the assignment, right? So I don't think I need to worry that much as long as I use the keywords.
Yeah. Really. And the keywords and the quotations.
Yeah.
But just on the point, as you said, you know, just as you said, your objective is not necessarily to get an A in CELTA, like you want to pass CELTA. And I think it'd be good if you take the same mentality to the assignments here. Like, of course, you don't want to have an extra workload of having to kind of write the assignment twice, so you don't want to have to resubmit. But just to let you know, like, resubmit almost never means write all of this again. Okay, it usually means fix this, and you're done. Okay, I can tell you if you submitted this assignment, it would be rewritten. Okay, and it's just, yeah. So it's worth you spending the time to do what I've suggested here and build it around the AI article, and that will mean that if it does come back as a resub, it's going to be something very minor. I would say to you, you don't even need to book a full session with me. You could then just do your 3 questions on a resub.
It's quite common to get a resubmission, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
I got one and was like I started to get super worried.
Pass on resub and pass first time have the same
Mm-hmm.
effect on your final grade. Like it means nothing. Resub means nothing from Cambridge's point of view. All it is, maybe we need a new word for it because it kind of has a negative connotation. But like all it means is, hey, it's almost there. You just need to fix these things.
Yeah. It's taken like 2 weeks for them to give me like my feedback on my resubmission, and I think it's a little bit long. I'm like, but okay, that's another topic. Okay.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. Yeah. When you're waiting for feedback, it's like, hey, come on, I put a lot of work into this.
Yes.
I feel you.
It's because the assignments have a lot of they're really important for the grade, right? So like I'm like worried about it, but yeah, it's okay.
They are important. They're very important, but the most important thing is your teaching.
Yeah, but what I mean is they clearly say on the CELTA 5, if you fail 2 assignments, you fail the course. So that's what I mean.
Yeah, but like you won't. You're going to pass this assignment.
Yeah.
Unless there's an earthquake that destroys the world, you're going to pass this assignment. And next ones too. It won't happen.
Quick question. So basically, from what I understand, it's about the amount of work that you would need to do, like if I show you my assignment. But is it okay if I just send you the assignment and I just simply ask you, is it okay? Yes or no? Can I do that?
No, basically.
Okay.
Just straight up, because if you say, hey, is it okay? Yes or no, I have to read it all, and I have to I have to analyze it. I have to read it for detail and just to answer that question.
Okay.
So, but like I honestly think that if you go and write it based on and follow this video, you'll be fine. And if you have any doubts, I think 3 questions will be enough. Like honestly, I came up with that number based on working with many clients over the years, and that's all they need. Like the other reason I have to come out because I have to put a limit on
course,
what I'm offering. But like I'm a teacher first of all. So my first objective before making the dollars is to make sure that you pass. Like that's my first. And like that's genuine to me. So and the main reason I came up with the 3 questions is because working with people over the years, that's usually all people need.
So the 3 questions is included in what we're doing here, or is that an additional service? So it's okay to send you 3 questions.
Yeah. Now, if you're, like when you do the genie in the bottle and you say, "Oh, give me infinite wishes," you can't say, "Well, one of my 3 questions, Fergus, is." Can you read the whole text? And my second question is, can you give me a full analysis?
No, I'll just do it. I'll submit, because the worst case that could happen is I resubmit, right? And I think that it's fine at this stage.
Absolutely. So like, just like, appropriate questions would be like, you have a question about, hey, I was thinking about my rationale for the productive task should be da 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 da. I didn't give you a quote for the productive task. I told you to go to the British Council. So maybe when you find that, maybe you want to check with me if that quote is appropriate.
Yeah, so check quote from British Council for the productive task.
Yeah, I think maybe you might want to get me to check the true-false task. And maybe check the words that you choose for pre-teach. I don't know. Maybe after you write the assignment, no, I don't need to check that one. I want to check 3 other things, but
yeah.
Again, those suggestions are just based on experience. Again, it's based on what people
I think this helps. I think I have to do more work than expected, but it's okay. I'm telling myself it's just, you have to do it. It's going to be over soon. It's okay.
Yeah, honestly, what I would suggest now, Thais, is before going to watch the video is going to be a big help to you, but it could also slow you down a lot because it'll make you, well, what did he say here? And back it up, and you watch it 3 times, and then it's not helpful to you. Then it's just like frustrating, and it's going to feel so hard. What I suggest is that, I know it's getting late there now, but I would just, even with a pen and paper, so turn off the computer screen, like you have to go to sleep and stuff, but with a pen and paper, write down the 5 areas there. So the rationale, lead in, the gist, detail, and the follow-up, and write down those keywords. Just as you remember them, or if you have notes there, just organize yourself a little bit that way. Okay. And then if you feel that you have a little bit more energy, write out by hand those quotes in the right place on your the scanning quote. Just write that under part 4, reading for detail, scanning. Just write it out by hand. And then go to bed. Yes. Just do that much.
So 2 questions and then we can finish today.
Yeah.
So just for the appendix, so I can just kind of explain the activity. Yes, I don't need to like do it in another app and then screenshot it. I just basically explain appendix 1, appendix 2, appendix 3, correct?
The content of the appendices is the actual tasks. So appendix 1 must be copy and paste of the reading text.
Of the book, yeah, of the text, yeah.
Of the article. Appendix 2 is going to be, what is it, your pre-teach
Yes.
words. Appendix 3 is going to be just the 3 titles, the 1 correct, 2 incorrect. It's just going to be that.
I don't need to explain the activities. I just need to put the activity itself.
Just the activity itself.
Okay.
Appendix 4 is going to be the true, false activities.
Okay, that makes it easier. I need to include answers as well.
Yes.
Okay.
You don't need to, I was about to say, you don't need to include answers for the productive task because you don't know what they're going to say, right? When it comes to productive
maybe I should say it's like, it depends on their opinion.
No, you don't even need to say that.
I don't? Okay.
No.
Well, I don't know. I don't want the two to be like,
No, you don't. You don't. All you need to do is just give the material that you're going to use. I know you want to use the ChatGPT thing. My choice, maybe because I like sci-fi movies.
I don't know much about it, so I feel like it will be a bit inauthentic. Okay.
Maybe, but like have you ever heard of The Matrix?
I have, and I've watched it, yes.
and I think that's like authentic doesn't have to mean that it comes from your heart. Authentic can mean that it comes from being a human being in the world. So like imagine I'm not the biggest fan of whatever it is. Let's say I wasn't a fan of sci-fi movies. I could still have that as the context of my lesson because one, I know people have seen this movie, The Matrix. I know that people use it as a cultural reference as well. And I know that it's related to the context of the reading, AI. And I know that, I don't like tech that much, but damn, I can't get away from this AI stuff. It's everywhere now. So like, whether I like it or not, it's touched me. So yeah, I guess it's relevant. So you see what I did there? Like it still is authentic. It's still relevant to both me as a teacher and a learner, even if that's not something that like I'm interested in, in talking about with my friends when I go to a bar or something.
Do you still have access to everything that I sent on the chat? Is it on your computer? Because your computer didn't close the window, yeah?
No.
You don't have access to it?
Yeah, I do have the access to the whole chat.
So can you copy like the transcript and send it to me? Because I don't have access to all the other stuff.
Set it to create a transcript.
So maybe it will be included anyway, right?
But so I just want to show you something before we go. So I'm going to use Google Classroom. Have you used Google Classroom before?
I have, but I'm not that good at it. But yes, I've used it.
I'm just going to use it. Let's see. Chat quotes.
Okay.
I'm just going to put this here in assignments. I'm going to go post. And
then you'll send me a link, I imagine?
Yes, I'm going to go. Oh, I have you over in my other. I only have Google Classroom with my.
I have this weird email that is my Gmail account, so maybe that's useful to you. Because my hotmail.com email, like it's another account, so it doesn't really work. So maybe you can send it to this. That was a joke email that I made. That's my real email because everybody needs Gmail. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm already there, by the way. If the picture's there, that means it's the right one.
Yes, exactly. This season well. So just what this is, Google Classroom, there's this classwork tab, and it's just a way, it helps us to organize any materials that we use. So there'll be this assignment section.
Will the video be there as well?
Yeah, I'll share the video. There's this stream tab. So stream, it just works like what do you call that? Like social media, you know? So
in
you
case
can
I have
download-
trouble finding the video or something, I'll contact you because I've
Oh,
never
yeah,
done
for
this in
sure.
particular. Yeah, but I think it should be fine.
Yeah, no, I'll share it there. And also I have a little course here that I include, this e-learning course that I had out recently, and I'm just going to give that to you.
Thank you very much.
It's all about online teaching. So there you see that, a gift to you, and then here's the chat.
Yeah.
The chat, and if you scroll down, it also has the link to the article.
Yeah.
And then I have a Google Doc here that when you click on that, it just has those quotes.
Okay.
But it's
I really need to go because it's Switzerland. I don't know about the reputation, but like after 10, we need to be like completely quiet. So I'm afraid the neighbors are gonna call the police. They won't. Yeah. So okay.
Yeah. Okay. Well, expect an email
you.
from me with the video, and
for the PayPal, you're gonna send me the instructions by email.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I'll probably get it done today as soon as I have the email. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that this is kind of rushed, but yeah.
No. Everybody has their own unique needs, and I'm here to work.
There's also a lot of anxiety. I'm trying to get as much information as possible, but I want to say, yeah, thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it, and also not just for the assignment. I feel like I'm getting a lot of knowledge that will help me in my teaching career. Okay, I'll contact you soon for my other assignments. Okay, so yeah,
fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Looking
Have a
forward to
very
hearing
nice
from
day.
you. Ciao.
Thank you. Bye bye.